tell you the fight that I'm really looking forward to, because I don't know what's going to happen, is Khamzat versus Strickland. I'm very interested in that fight. Strickland is a fucking nightmare standing up.
For sure.
He's a nightmare.
For sure.
When he did a Fluffy Hernandez, I was like, holy shit, man.
The body shot, the finish, but he made Fluffy fight. You know, he fights at a slower pace. He has his own pace in there, and he kind of forces the other guy to fight. His opponent has to fight this pace with him. I think the best chance is to blitz him, do unorthodox things, because he wants to jab, circle, throw a kick, jab, circle. He keeps a very slow pace. He's not sprinting or trying to blast you out of there. He just chips away, high guard, good shell.
Yeah, very good shell. His defense is extraordinary. And, man, that motherfucker doesn't get tired in there.
Right.
And the Fluffy fight was like, I thought Fluffy was going to be a problem. I'm like, Fluffy's really good, man. You think he submitted Adolfo Vieira. He's got all this fucking crazy cardio. He puts a pace on guys, and Strickland made it look like he just did not belong in there.
Would you be surprised if Khamzat beat Sean in 2 minutes?
If he finished him at all, it would surprise me. Chimaev has an aura around him. He's a frightening guy. I've never seen Chimaev fight somebody that he couldn't take down. Strickland does his best work, by the way, when he's counted out. I have never seen anybody take him down and hold him. He won all 5 rounds against Izzy. I don't know how that fight's going to go. Whoever wins the first round is going to win the next 4. If he finished him at all, it would surprise me.
Man, I think Sean could pull this off, man. I'm actually thinking if that Sean Strickland shows up, I think he pulls this off, man. I think he defends a couple shots. He will get taken down, but I think he gets back to his feet. And then if he can get his jab going, his jab and those teeth kicks going, because what Sean does well naturally is already a good defense towards a guy like Khamzat. And it's not like he's got to do anything different. Just what he does good naturally is already a good start for beating a guy like Khamzat. So him adding on to that, I think, man, if the guy who fought Fluffy shows up, he beats.
If Khamzat literally was taken down with ease and just bullying him, I mean, then but it's hard to picture Sean's getting fucked up. Just we've seen him fight so many times, and no one really ever, even when you have close fights, never get his ass kicked. So I'm excited for that fight.
If there's one fight right now that has the entire MMA world genuinely confused, excited, and divided at the same time, it's Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Not because it's just a big fight, but because nobody truly knows what's going to happen when these two styles collide. On one side, you have Chimaev, a wrecking machine, a fighter who has built his reputation by overwhelming opponents early, taking them down, and making them look like they don't belong in the cage. On the other side, you have Strickland, one of the most awkward, durable, and mentally unbreakable fighters in the division, a guy who doesn't fight like anyone else and somehow makes elite fighters look average. Strickland is a nightmare on the feet, but not in the way people usually expect. He's not explosive. He's not flashy. He doesn't rush for knockouts. Instead, he drags you into his world, a slow, suffocating pace where he chips away at you with his jab, controls distance with teep kicks, and forces you to fight at a rhythm that only he understands. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and over time, it breaks fighters mentally. We saw that clearly in his performance against tough opponents where people expected him to struggle, but instead, he made them look completely outclassed. His defense is tight, his cardio is insane, and most importantly, he doesn't get tired. Now compare that to Chimaev's style. Khamzat is explosive, aggressive, and terrifying in the opening rounds. He shoots fast, he hits hard.
As far as how I think the fight plays out, I do think Chimaev wins. I think Strickland, I mean, he had lightning in a bottle against Israel Adesanya. You know, he's capable of pulling off an upset. We've seen that before. I just think Chimaev is, I don't know if anyone beats Chimaev right now. And that includes Imavov. I don't think Imavov is going to beat Chimaev either. I think Chimaev is just going to continue to get those takedowns, going to continue to put pressure on. I wonder, though, can he finish Strickland? I'm not sure. He wasn't able to finish DDP. And again, I thought DDP and Strickland were kind of neck and neck when you saw those matchups. I know every fight's different as far as the styles go, but I think Chimaev might end up winning a decision here. I don't think it's going to be a quick finish. I know he's threatened Strickland and saying, you know, like, it's going to be a quick win and all that stuff. You know, I don't think that's going to happen here.
Hard, and once he gets you down, it usually feels like the fight is already over. But here's the problem. We've never really seen him deal with someone like Strickland. Someone who doesn't panic. Someone who refuses to stay down. Someone who gets back up again and again, no matter how many times he's taken down. That's where this fight becomes dangerous for Chimaev. Because if Khamzat can't finish the fight early, everything changes. Strickland thrives in chaos that stretches over time. He's the kind of fighter who gets stronger as the fight goes on, while his opponent slowly breaks. If Chimaev spends all his energy chasing takedowns in the first round and Strickland keeps getting back up, that pressure starts to flip. Suddenly, it's not Chimaev controlling the fight.
For me to imagine Chimaev can't go out and tackle somebody. Why? Well, because every Chimaev fight I've seen, he has gone out and tackled somebody quickly, repeatedly. But it's very hard for me to imagine that he's going to just throw Sean Strickland down. Nobody else has. Kamaru Usman didn't. Just for example of great wrestlers. I have seen Sean in the practice room. Just for example, in practice room stories are very, very relevant. Like you'll see a different side of a guy in a practice room. When a guy goes into a fight, he's going to go with plan A. And he will never go to plan B, ever, unless plan A doesn't work. You have a guy like Khabib where people go, well, he's a one-dimensional fighter. Well, he was one-dimensional because that dimension always worked. In the practice room, Khabib can punch and he can kick and he can fight off his back. He can do all sorts of things. But you've never seen them because he was so dominant in fighting, just for an example. So practice room is very relevant. I've never in the practice room seen somebody go throw Sean Strickland down and keep him there. Ever.
It's Strickland dragging him into deep waters where cardio, patience, and mental toughness matter more than explosiveness. Experts are already pointing out something interesting. Strickland doesn't actually need to change much to deal with Chimaev. His natural style already creates problems for wrestlers. His upright stance, constant hand fighting, and ability to defend without overcommitting make it incredibly hard to control him for long periods. Even in training, stories suggest that elite wrestlers struggle to hold him down. That's a huge red flag for someone like Chimaev, who relies heavily on control and dominance. But let's not pretend this is one-sided. Chimaev is still one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. He's strong.
Pierre did not believe that he could beat Matt Hughes. George goes out there and dominates Matt Hughes, but just I'm not on his level, and found a way. He just found a way to make sure Matt won and then goes, give me a rematch. Now the mask is off. Now I know. Now I believe in himself. And it was a very one-sided affair, but this is a real thing when you can feel a guy. And I'm just sharing with you, like whoever wins that first round, I don't know that it's as simple as can Sean stop the takedown. I think that Sean is a better kickboxer. I think that he's a meaningfully better kickboxer. I watched Sean for 25 minutes out kickbox Israel Adesanya, who is a decorated, pure kickboxer. But we don't actually know.
He's fast, and he has knockout power along with his wrestling. If he sets up his shots properly, using feints, attacking the body, and forcing Strickland to drop his guard, he can absolutely find openings. Fighters like Alex Pereira have already shown that Strickland's defense can be broken with the right setup. If Chimaev fights smart instead of reckless, he has a real path to victory. The biggest factor in this fight might actually be the first round. Whoever controls that opening round could control the entire fight. If Chimaev dominates early, lands takedowns, and makes Strickland feel his power, it could break the rhythm before it even starts. But
it's a tough fight for Strickland, I'm not going to lie, but he is tough to take down, he's tough to hold down, he does have a ground game, and he's going to talk some shit. And I've heard there's a bunch of Chechens hunting Sean Strickland down in Las Vegas, and he's got to be careful. And I heard Sean like, hey man, I've got guns. You can come to my house, man. Here's the thing, guys. If they come to my house, I got the guns.
I'm almost certain Strickland's gonna have a gun with him wherever he is in Vegas, and good luck.
But if Strickland survives, stays calm, and forces Chimaev into longer exchanges, the momentum could completely shift. There's also a mental side to this fight that people aren't talking about enough. Strickland is not a normal fighter psychologically. He thrives under pressure, chaos, and even controversy. Nothing seems to shake him. In fact, the more intense things get, the more comfortable he becomes. That's dangerous against someone like Chimaev, who is used to intimidating opponents before the fight even begins. And then there's the striking gap. Strickland outstruck Israel Adesanya over 5 rounds, one of the best
his resume or whatever, and on every one I responded, hey guys, who was his last loss though? Like, if your last loss is to a guy who's coming off of a performance like that against somebody who we all agreed was one fight away from the title in Fluffy Hernandez, you go out there and finish him like that, jump on the mic. How do you not? Especially for a company starving for an American champion.
He lost to Strickland in 2023, November, to be, not January, sorry. So 3 years ago.
I think
he's on a 5-fight win streak. And he beat Izzy. That was sensational. Second round knockout, right hand over the top. Against Borralho, impressive victory, but not as good as Sean going out there and beating the brakes and finishing Fluffy. And then on the microphone as well, the way that he acted, then with the backstory and the beef and the way that, these guys are going to shit talk it up. Sean Strickland's not going to back down. People talk about wanting to see rivalries and real characters. Well, my God, you have got it here, 100%. Yeah. But the big question is, can he stop the takedowns? Can he take the shots from Khamzat? Because he's got knockout power as well. He's not just a wrestler.
Strikers in MMA history. That alone tells you how effective his system is. If this fight stays standing for extended periods, Strickland has a clear advantage in volume, control, and consistency. Chimaev hits harder, but Strickland hits more often, and over time, that matters. Cardio is another huge factor. Strickland fights like he can go forever. His entire training style is built around constant sparring, which gives him a level of endurance that's very hard to match. Chimaev, on the other hand, has shown moments where his energy dips after explosive starts. If that happens here, it could be the turning point. So what do we really have? An unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Chimaev brings pressure.
The biggest thing when you look at Sean Strickland, and everybody talks about it, he has this amazing pace, he has this da-da-da-da. His pace is very, very slow. He's not explosive, he's very here, he goes here, and it makes sense. All he does is spar. Yeah. That's pretty much his training, he just spars. And he goes here and he just, he throws a jab, he's southpaw. Yeah, he's orthodox, yeah. Sometimes I feel like he's southpaw, but he goes like this. He throws that jab and then if you come forward, he stays nice in here, then he'll throw his jab and move. But that's all he's gonna do. That's all I thought he's gonna do. Yeah. He doesn't shoot, he doesn't clinch. Yeah. It's pretty...
Power and early danger. Strickland brings durability, control, and long-term dominance. If the fight ends early, it's probably Chimaev. If it goes long, it starts favoring Strickland more and more. And that's why this fight is so fascinating. Because no matter who wins, something has to break. Either Chimaev proves he's truly unstoppable and runs through one of the toughest fighters in the division, or Strickland does what he's done before: shock the world, survive the storm, and dismantle another dangerous opponent in his own slow, suffocating way. One thing is guaranteed: when these two step into the cage, we're going to...
A jab and push kick is going to throw it. He's a volume guy. He's not going to knock you out. I'm hoping, I imagine he is, but Khamzat's really training to counter that jab.
Yep.
And what Strickland does do a good job of, which is not the... I wouldn't do it, but what he does is he parries a lot. He uses his arms really well.
Out here, yes.
Right, but I want him to, like, for me, if I was fighting him, I would set those traps up. I want him to start doing that. You seen Pereira do it, right? Yeah. Like, Pereira was, like, jabbing the chest, getting under, jabbing chest, and you're getting him to pull his hands away from his face because he...
It all started with a line that instantly caught fire across the MMA world. On Twitter, everyone is a gangster. That one statement perfectly set the tone for what followed. Because Ilia Topuria didn't just throw casual trash talk. He went all in. He made it clear that he doesn't see himself as a street fighter or some fake tough guy online. In his words, he's a professional athlete, disciplined, focused, and operating at the highest level. But then he flipped the switch and aimed directly at Arman Tsarukyan in a way that shocked even hardcore fans. Instead of the usual fight hype, Topuria attacked everything, from Arman's personality to his intelligence, even mocking his appearance and calling his behavior childish. This wasn't just promotion.
One thing about that is, like, when you just broke down, it's very basic, right? You can fight Sean Strickland and keep it as a sparring match. Because nothing's gonna go above that. He's not gonna switch stance or do something that's gonna, like, ramp. It's a tempo. He gets in the car, he puts it in second gear, third gear, and just sits there on cruise control. That's all it is, right? So if Khamzat goes out there and keeps his base and does what he does and it just moves, like right there, like right, you go here, you step this way, Only thing you have to watch about, like, he's in this position right here. He can do a spinning back elbow, boom, which is very possible people do, or he has to get his shit together, and listen, he comes like a front. He has to get his shit together and turn and face me, right? And so he does that. All Khamzat does is stay here, and then boom, and that's what Khamzat's so good at. Is Khamzat comes out and he moves, and he's here, and he's always moving. It's boom.
It felt personal, raw, and borderline disrespectful in a way we rarely see at this level. And that's why this situation is exploding right now. Because this isn't normal UFC trash talk anymore. Topuria didn't just cross the line, he erased it completely. He openly called Arman dumb, questioned his mentality, and painted him as someone who doesn't belong among elite fighters. In an era where most fighters are media-trained and careful with their words, Topuria is doing the exact opposite. He's going full psychological warfare. He's trying to break Arman mentally before they even step into the cage. And whether you agree with it or not, it's working, because now the entire MMA community...
I just think Khamzat's too strong.
Yeah, oh yeah, 1,000%.
He's too strong, and now he's got the cardio to go along with it. As long as he plays his game and he sets these takedowns up, he can't just shoot blind shots. Like I don't want to shoot off from here, which he's done it and got away with it because he's so strong. He's very strong. You can shoot a shot from here and still get it. But I want him to get Strickland to start moving his hands and parrying and then shoot my shot. So throwing combos first, getting a shot, keeping the pressure on him instead of vice versa, countering that jab, really working that body. Right, because this is all the shoulder roll that's really showing. This is all to block his head, and I want him to do that. I want him to get his hands, but I want to like dig the body. So now this is here, right? Like Pereira put a blueprint on how to catch that left hook on him. Obviously he hits really hard, but just was jabbing the chest. He was jabbing the chest. And he's getting Strickland to do this with his hands, and then he'd fake to go to the jab.
Is talking about it. But here's the deeper layer that makes this rivalry even more interesting. Topuria isn't just talking randomly. He's building a narrative. He's pointing to Arman's past incidents and using them as evidence. The airplane controversy, where Arman reportedly refused to follow instructions and got removed from a flight. The moment where he punched a fan during his walkout. The withdrawal from a potential title fight against Islam Makhachev, a fight that could have changed his career forever. To Topuria, these aren't small mistakes. They're signs of a lack of discipline, a lack of focus, and most importantly, a lack of championship mindset. From Topuria's perspective, a true champion doesn't make those mistakes. A true champion shows up when it matters most. And that's why he's pushing this Arman is not on my level narrative so hard. He wants fans to see Tsarukyan not as a dangerous contender, but as someone who folds under pressure. It's calculated. It's strategic. And it's exactly how you control the story before the fight even happens. But here's where things get complicated. Because despite all the criticism, Arman Tsarukyan is not just some random fighter. He's one of the most dangerous lightweights in the world right now. He pushed Makhachev to the limit in his debut, something very few fighters have done. Since then, he's gone on a dominant run, beating high-level opponents and proving that his wrestling, pace, and overall skill set are elite. He's evolved. He's improved. And right now, he's closer to a title shot than ever before. That's what makes Topuria's comments so risky. Because if Arman backs it up inside the cage, all of this trash talk flips instantly. Everything Topuria said becomes motivation. Instead of breaking Arman mentally, it could push him to fight even harder. And in MMA, that's always dangerous. Stylistically, this potential matchup is fascinating. Topuria is one of the cleanest boxers in the sport today. His striking is precise, calculated, and powerful. He doesn't waste movement. He doesn't throw wild shots. Everything he does has purpose, and when he lands, fights end. We've already seen him knock out elite fighters and dominate top-level competition with confidence. On the other side, Arman brings relentless pressure, high-level wrestling, and a pace that can drown opponents. He doesn't need one big moment. He builds his dominance over time. If he can control Topuria, mix in takedowns, and drag the fight into deeper rounds, the dynamic completely changes. So the real question becomes simple. Can Topuria keep the fight standing? Because if he does, he likely has the advantage. His boxing, timing, and finishing ability give him a clear edge on the feet. But if Arman gets his wrestling going, controls positions, and forces Topuria into uncomfortable situations, this becomes a completely different fight. There's also a mental battle happening here that might be just as important as the physical one. Topuria is trying to get inside Arman's head. He wants him emotional, angry, rushed. Because an emotional fighter makes mistakes. And against someone as sharp as Topuria, one mistake can end everything. But if Arman stays calm, sticks to his game plan, and ignores the noise, he becomes a serious problem. And then there's the bigger picture. Topuria isn't just thinking about Arman. He's looking beyond him, toward legacy fights, super fights, and even a potential clash with Islam Makhachev. He's already said he wants to do the unthinkable, submit Makhachev, something nobody has ever done. That tells you everything about his mindset. He's not here just to win fights. He's here to dominate the sport and build a legacy that puts him among the greatest. In his eyes, Arman is just another step. But in reality, Arman might be the biggest obstacle yet. Because this isn't just a fight anymore. It's pride versus proof. Confidence versus consistency. Psychological warfare versus real skill. Topuria is playing chess, trying to control the narrative, control the pressure, and control the moment before it even arrives. But once that cage door closes, none of that matters. Because in the end, there's only one truth in MMA. You either prove it, or you get exposed. If there's one fight right now that has the entire MMA world genuinely confused, excited, and divided at the same time, it's Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Not because it's just a big fight, but because nobody truly knows what's going to happen when these two styles collide. On one side, you have Chimaev, a wrecking machine, a fighter who has built his reputation by overwhelming opponents early, taking them down, and making them look like they don't belong in the cage. On the other side, you have Strickland, one of the most awkward, durable, and mentally unbreakable fighters in the division, a guy who doesn't fight like anyone else and somehow makes elite fighters look average. Strickland is a nightmare on the feet, but not in the way people usually expect. He's not explosive. He's not flashy. He doesn't rush for knockouts. Instead, he drags you into his world, a slow, suffocating pace where he chips away at you with his jab, controls distance with deep kicks, and forces you to fight at a rhythm that only he understands. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and over time, it breaks fighters mentally. We saw that clearly in his performance against tough opponents where people expected him to struggle, but instead, he made them look completely outclassed. His defense is tight, his cardio is insane, and most importantly, he doesn't get tired. Now compare that to Chimaev's style. Khamzat is explosive, aggressive, and terrifying in the opening rounds. He shoots fast, he hits hard, and once he gets you down, it usually feels like the fight is already over. But here's the problem. We've never really seen him deal with someone like Strickland. Someone who doesn't panic. Someone who refuses to stay down. Someone who gets back up again and again, no matter how many times he's taken down. That's where this fight becomes dangerous for Chimaev. Because if Khamzat can't finish the fight early, everything changes. Strickland thrives in chaos that stretches over time. He's the kind of fighter who gets stronger as the fight goes on, while his opponent slowly breaks. If Chimaev spends all his energy chasing takedowns in the first round and Strickland keeps getting back up, that pressure starts to flip. Suddenly, it's not Chimaev controlling the fight. It's Strickland dragging him into deep waters where cardio, patience, and mental toughness matter more than explosiveness. Experts are already pointing out something interesting. Strickland doesn't actually need to change much to deal with Chimaev. His natural style already creates problems for wrestlers. His upright stance, constant hand fighting, and ability to defend without overcommitting make it incredibly hard to control him for long periods. Even in training, stories suggest that elite wrestlers struggle to hold him down. That's a huge red flag for someone like Chimaev, who relies heavily on control and dominance. But let's not pretend this is one-sided. Chimaev is still one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. He's strong, he's fast, and he has knockout power along with his wrestling. If he sets up his shots properly, using feints, attacking the body, and forcing Strickland to drop his guard, he can absolutely find openings. Fighters like Alex Pereira have already shown that Strickland's defense can be broken with the right setup. If Chimaev fights smart instead of reckless, he has a real path to victory. The biggest factor in this fight might actually be the first round. Whoever controls that opening round could control the entire fight. If Chimaev dominates early, lands takedowns, and makes Strickland feel his power, it could break the rhythm before it even starts. But if Strickland survives, stays calm, and forces Chimaev into longer exchanges, the momentum could completely shift. There's also a mental side to this fight that people aren't talking about enough. Strickland is not a normal fighter psychologically. He thrives under pressure, chaos, and even controversy. Nothing seems to shake him. In fact, the more intense things get, the more comfortable he becomes. That's dangerous against someone like